Hello and welcome to The Balanced Breed. We want to thank you so much for your time, for letting us into the privacy of your privacy in the comfort of your home, your office, your business area, wherever it may be. We truly appreciate you for your time. Thank you for joining us. We would like you to like our videos and also share our videos so that you can be a blessing to someone. God bless you. The marriage institution is one that is shrouded in processes, traditions, customs that varies from place to place, from people to people, from family to family. Even in the various faith or religion, they also vary. And we have also seen trends in recent times where these processes have been altered and the consequences have been grievous. At this point, one is tempted to ask, who is to be blamed for all this? With me tonight are two gorgeous ladies who are here to help me in this discussion, with the discussion, who is to be blamed. On my left, I have Sister Florence Obaseki. She is a music minister, a counselor by profession, and the convener of Ladies of Valor. Welcome, Sister Florence. We also have, on my right, Mrs. Janet Ajibade. She is an accountant by profession, an entrepreneur. Also, she is a pastor and a wife of a pastor. Welcome, ma'am.
Thanks for having me.
So, we have seen what's going on around. We know that marriage is an institution that God has instituted. God instituted by himself. So God's interest is major in the marriage institution. But we have seen, we know that this institution is shrouded in so many processes, rules, and regulations that kind of guide it. I would like to ask you, in the processes, in letting your intent know, who comes first? The parents or the pastors? Who should know about the intent, a marriage intent first? Who should the guy go to meet, or who should the people, the intending couple, go to see? Reason being that a lot of people have argued that pastors don't have an authority for consenting for any marriage proposal that is, any marriage couple or about to be married couple that comes before them. So who do you think should come first? The parents or the pastors? And then what is the place of the pastor?
Okay, thank you. I like to say that there is no competition between pastor and the parents.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, but it just depends on who is available at a particular time in your journey. For instance, there are some people that their parents are not knowledgeable enough, or because of their experience, you can see that they have little or nothing to offer you.
Or they don't really care.
Yes, when it comes to giving marital
Consent.
no, consent, whether they are knowledgeable or not, it is their right.
Yeah.
Yes. But where I was going to is that, like, who should know first?
Yes.
Sometimes, if you are lucky or you are blessed to have a parent who is also occupying the position of being a counselor, who you know that their judgments will not be clouded, it's not like they just want a form of retirement for themselves or for economic reasons, you understand?
Yeah.
So this is one of the reasons why people, intending couples, will go and meet like a neutral person, which is like a pastor in this case. So I want to say that there's no competition. But if you are blessed to have a parent who will be able to help you. Yes, fine, your parents is okay. But in the case where you know that your parents will not even give you godly advice, you understand? So you may need to, it's intent you are talking about now. It's not blessing. So you may need to talk to your pastor or someone you regard as someone you submit to, someone who is your role model, if you have that opportunity. And you know, one of the reasons why you do this is that sometimes it's going to save you from some headaches and what some people say, breakfast. Yes, because there are lots of people that they will come to you, yes, I want to marry you, you know, they will like tell you their intention, but it's not true. So some ladies are smart enough when they tell you, okay, I've heard, can you come and see my pastor? There are guys that will not want to go further. And then you know that this one is not serious. We've experienced that a lot in ministry. So whether your parents or pastor, at the end of the day, you are the one that is being helped. So just enjoy whichever one is available to you. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I think, let me add to it. Just as she said, there's no competition in it. It depends on who is available at the moment. Well, Ephesians 6 talks about children honoring their parents for their days to be long. And I think, in the place, if we want to look at it in the place of parity and honor, the parents should actually come first. Yes, the parents should come first if that parent is actually godly. Just as you said, if the parent is not godly, the pastor should come. So there's no competition in it, but the parent should actually come first if he or she is actually godly. Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, actually, you made the point that when ladies ask guys to follow them to see their pastors, at that point, they refuse. A lot of guys turn back. And most of these guys are the ones who argue the importance of pastors in premarital processes. Okay? So, and also it boils down also to the fact that some pastors have abused their place and feel like they can give consent on who to, or decide on who you should marry or you shouldn't marry. I think that is one of the reasons why people feel like the pastors shouldn't even be involved now. When we are done with the parents, we can move to the pastors. So what do you think about pastors people who want to decide, apart from parents, who want to decide and say, no, this girl is not good for you, probably because of the role that person is playing. It could be a guy, it could be a lady, and your pastor just feels like, no, you see, this girl is not good for you. So what do you have to say about that?
Okay, yeah, I agree that such cases do happen. But then, these same people complaining, that the same set of people that if they, like you start a relationship and stuff like that, and you say, and you need to meet my parent first. And they'll be like, wait now, where have we gotten to?
Imagine a relationship of 2-3 years.
That we want to see your parent. Some will feel like, that means coming to see your parents is like
taking it to another
we've
step.
gotten to the peak of it. You understand? And like that's just the final stage. But then somehow I see pastors doing so much. You know, because instead of going to meet the parent first, okay, come and meet my pastor. Some people are blessed that they have elder sister or brother, and some, instead of going straight to some pastors don't even have time for things like this. They rather ask you to go and meet the marriage committee or stuff like that, and something that you're not so sure yet. You just want to, before you take the step to start the relationship even, that's why some people will say, will you come and see my pastor. So I think it's kind of better that you meet someone, not come and see my parent. Like I have cases of family members that it's even my mom that will say, see, don't bring anybody to me again because you have brought them over and over. You bring this, you bring that. Go and meet your sister. When I see that you are really serious with this, then you can come to me. I don't want, you are changing them like clothes. You get? And actually, it's courtship. It's not marriage. Yeah. So you're not bound to consummate the relationship into marriage if it's not working. It's a rehearsal. That's courtship is rehearsal before marriage.
Without sex.
Without sex. So you don't have to. It's not compulsory that it must lead to marriage. And if you don't give yourself cheaply, you have nothing to lose. So, but one thing is that the role of pastors actually starts from teaching these parties concerned how to hear God, how to know God for themselves, how to know the right person, and also how to be the right person for yourself. You understand? That's the role of pastors. And also to teach you values that when you go into relationship, it's not marriage. There are things that you do not do in marriage. So these are the roles of pastors. But ultimately, the decision making still lies on the both parties. Any pastor, there are pastors, like you said, who have abused this. They like to micromanage people. Like, before you eat, hello, daddy, I want to go to so place. Should I go? I want to change my this. Should I? I mean, that I see is bondage. Mm-hmm. In the kingdom that we belong to, it's not slavery. So, the fact that you honor in fact, pastors who do that, I want to say that they are jobless. I'm sorry for using that strong word, if it is. Because if you have so many, how many people do you want to be giving consent and all that? Then you will know if your pastor is the kind of person that we want to clinch to you. Don't go, except you are bringing the person. You will know the truth. We always know the truth. So that's my opinion. It's still, the decision still lies on you to know who is right for you. In fact, your pastor should not tell you this person is, when you are conversing, if the person takes a bold step to come and see your pastor and you are talking, person can, I think you should pray more.
Yeah.
Or, this person, are you sure this person is saved? You understand? Or, this person, okay, keep on moving together. But this person needs to have a job. It needs to be stable. So don't even talk about marriage now. That's the role of pastor. For you telling you can't marry this person because he's from so-so assembly. That's very wrong.
Can I ask you? Yeah. Okay, even in the Bible says, he that finds a wife findeth a good thing, and not the pastor that finds a wife for
the person.
Brother. So I think the choosing, as she said, is meant for
the people.
The both parties, and not for the pastor. He can only guide you and assist you into making the right decision. Yes.
But don't you think that some persons have, she said some pastors teleguiding. Don't you think some persons have put themselves in that position where they think that if the pastor does not affirm it, then it cannot be it? It doesn't matter whether it was God ordained or not.
Okay. Well, I think such persons need to actually work on their own mindset. They need to have a life for themselves and not depend on their pastor for decisions for them.
Sorry, I want to say that some ministers, unfortunately, they're not teaching their members to, the church, these gifts that we're giving in church is to equip the saints.
Yeah.
So they're not really helping these vulnerable members to stand on their own. It's not just on marriage issues.
Yeah.
So you see, if your pastor makes every decision for you, you're not growing.
Yeah.
Even your children, you should allow them make some decisions. So if I want to travel, I've not told my pastor, no. There is a place of honor where you are holding an office and you will not be on ground. You can let them know so that another person can take your place and stuff like that. But not on everything.
Like
do you know that there are
Babalawo
pastors?
kind of
Yes, there are pastors who
consultation.
will tell married couple. I've seen that before. Told a man not to sleep with his wife for 100 days or something, and told him that he should come and be sleeping in church. That is the problem of his life. The battle in his life is because of his wife. Haba. So now you as the pastor, you don't have the power to pray and break whatever and deliver the wife self if she's, let's say she's possessed. Mary Magdalene had 7 demons which Jesus was able to help her with. So I think it just boils down to all these, don't go anywhere, where are you? You want to rent a house, I must come and see it, I must come and Abba.
And all this has to do with building up the saints, knowing God for yourself, learning to press into God, seeking God's face, and knowing what God tells you in the place of prayer. Some persons we go to compare what God had told them in the place of prayer with to confirm it from mortal men. All right, but if you know who you serve, you know your stand in God, it is very, very important that you trust God on every word He has spoken to you in the place of prayer, especially even when it concerns marriage. So when God tells you it's a go ahead, then it's a go ahead. It doesn't matter what whoever says. I had an experience when I was dating my husband, and genuine men of God, and about 2 or 3 of them. One told me, just looked at me and like, hey, that man is not your husband. And I asked him one question. I said, can God say something and turn around to say the opposite? He said, no. I said, if that's the case, then that's my husband. Why? Because I know what God told me in the place of prayer. Okay, so it's very important. If we know what God has told us in the place of prayer, it will help a lot of these things. Now, talking about processes. We just established that pastors, there's no competition between pastors and parents. And the place of honor, we honor both of them because pastors also stand in the place of parents. And sometimes it also depends on the church policies. There are some places where they believe that even before your parents will know. In fact, you see a lady you are intending, you like, you don't go to her direct. You come through the pastor or through the marriage committee. So that takes me to our next question. How important is the marriage committee and counseling? How important?
I believe that. It's not like I believe. That's what the word of God says. In Proverbs 11:14. The multitude of counsel, there is safety.
Mm-hmm.
So, marriage committee and counseling, it's actually good and very important because you don't know everything. And when you are kind of in love, you lose part of your thinking faculty. So, and you need neutral people who are not feeling what they are feeling. You understand? And sometimes you need people who they say, follow who know road. Mm-hmm. You need to also some people have gone ahead of you. They have experienced, wealth of experience. So it's not bad if you tap into it. You know, these days you hear, I've always known that something is wrong with this. When some will say third party, put them away, put third party away, I just be like, see, there are ministers that I respect, you know, I revere a lot, and they say stuff like that. I just be like, no, this is not right. Because this is why people die in silence.
Yes.
This is why people will be passing through stuff, because they've told them not to involve a third party. And so, you see, marriage committee, they will expose you to certain things that you are not thinking about. Even in preparation, when it comes to, like, you're in advanced stage, you're preparing, they're going to tell you, okay, what's your budget? And they will give you something that is workable with around your budget. So these things are good. Even though there are some of these marriage committees, they become principalities and powers. Yes. Yes, they become principalities and powers. Like, maybe there's someone they're not in very good relationship with. You'll not be waiting. You are going to come when it's time for your, and they will stress you out.
Frustrate
You
your
know,
life.
some people, they will look into the shoes you want to use, the gown. You should just say that decency is key. So, they are not babies. When you say decency is key, these people have, you know, you, like a bride, you have what you want for your events, for your wedding, which should be respected.
Yeah.
You understand? So, that's just the aspect I'm looking at, that marriage committees, they too can take it too far. But then, they are important because they're going to give you life lessons.
Yeah.
Things that you're not looking at. There was a time when I was preparing for my wedding. The pastor's wife who counseled me one of those days, she said some things that I don't know. I know it's good, but maybe the way it was presented, I caught a fever right there. No, I'm not. I caught a fever right there. Like, I had temperature, and you know, you just say all the bad things in marriage. And at the end of the day, you make it look like marriage is not beautiful.
Yeah.
So we need to balance things up. Marriage counselors and committees, they are good. And they should be led by the Spirit of God.
Okay. One of the problems we have in our society is the I know syndrome. Everyone feel they know too much. So they don't need anybody to talk to them, and which is very, very wrong. Now, even if those things you think you actually know might be wrong. So you need a guide. You need someone to put you through. You need someone who has experience more than you do to actually guide you and tell you, okay, do it this way, do it that way, don't do it this way, do it this way. So I think, as she said, marriage committee and counseling is very, very important. Marital process.
The importance of marriage committee cannot be overemphasized.
Overemphasized at all.
Because their role is meant for good. But I don't know why some persons are scared. Maybe because, like your experience you just shared. Okay? They are there to counsel, to advise, to direct, and to nurture young people who intend to get into marriage. All right? So it's not like a firing squad kind of something. It's for your benefit. And they are to tell you how best this is done in all purity and holiness. Hebrews 13 verse 4. All right? Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. All right? So, and God will judge fornicators and adulterers, immoral sin in whatever form. God is going to judge. And so these people are there to put a guide. All right? So sometimes some person might just end up by saying, I know this person, his marriage is not working, he's here. I know this one, her daughter's marriage is failing. Look, I think You just learn what you are being taught. You are not to come and judge.
Yes.
All right? You are being helped. Take the counsel if you want, but it is for your own good if you walk by the counsel. Now, trends. We have seen a lot of amazing surprise stunts on social media. Very, very amazing. From birthdays, surprises, to mommy is back surprise, husband is back surprise, and the proposal surprise. I will ask you, what do you think about surprise proposal? What is its significance to marriage, I must say?
Okay. Well, for me, I don't think there's any significance to it, because you can actually, now, let me start this way. I believe before or during the relationship, you should have actually know where the whole thing is heading to. So putting your partner on pressure to do the big surprise is actually, like, it's out of it.
Yeah.
Because my ladies are something else. They will want to, okay, you have to do it big, you have to bring a trumpet, you have to decorate the whole event, and it's actually, it's so wrong. Yes, so I feel you don't put the guy under pressure. Allow him to do it to his capacity.
Yeah.
And I don't think, it doesn't have anything to do with how successful your home is
Thank
at
you.
all. Even if you do it big, if you do it small, if you both want it to work, it will work. Yes.
When does it even become a surprise? Is it, because I'm wondering, you are in this relationship, and you're asking, oh yeah, now, give me the ring now, see my parents now. I say, okay, give me time. Probably he's targeting his birthday, your birthday, something. And then that day, and I say, there's a camera, blah, 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 all around there. Like, you didn't expect it to come. I mean, am I missing something here? I don't think, is that a surprise actually?
Just like I said, when you both are actually in a relationship, you should know where it's heading to. It's heading towards marriage, of course.
Of course.
So I'm also alarmed when I see ladies crying at some point.
That
and I'm like, why are you crying? Are you not expecting the wedding ring in the first place? You can actually get happy and like, wow, okay. But to the point of crying. And shouting.
So we'll even run away. And then they'll go.
So it is well. God will help us.
If you talk about surprise proposal, sometimes it actually gets, when you say it's surprising, for instance now, they dated, he walked up to her, you see, I'm done, and then he walks away. Then 2 months later, you are hearing a trumpet, and then you just say, and then he proposed. I don't know, like, you were not expecting him to come back, but he came back and he's saying, will you marry? And that's one, you can tell me it's a surprise. But yesterday, we saw you people choosing the ring, and then you are coming, and it could actually be a surprise in any way, but maybe without the crowd. I remember, I was asking the young man, Oga, it's been long. What is it? I say, hey, I'm taking my time. I was like, if you know, beside I hear God, okay? So one day, he just said, can we go and see my friend? And we went to the friend's house. We just took a stroll. Under the bamboo tree, just the two of us. There was no ring. He didn't have to go down on one knee. He just held my hands and said, I would like you to be my wife, the mother of my children. And see, immediately the whole place started spinning like, okay? But that was, for me, it was beautiful. I'm not saying it's a standard anyway. Yes. Nobody was there, but for me, it was a memorable day. Till date, we celebrate it. In fact, they will tell you love under the bamboo tree. That's what he calls it, all right? So, like we have said, it has no significance to how successful your marriage is. Now, we have seen beautiful proposals turn sour. What went wrong? Beautiful marriage proposal, the whole crowd was there, surprise! But some didn't end in marriage, some ended in marriage, but turned sour. What went wrong? What can we say went wrong?
Oh, I think that at first, when you started, I was like, I'm old school. But you guys, I noticed I'm not the only old school here. So I personally, I don't like the show.
Thank you.
And people are free to do what they
Whatever.
want. But if it has become acting, why are you acting it? Why do you need to act it? That's not even what will see the best of weddings, as in wedding ceremony, does not define or is not like a factor
For
to
this.
have a happy marriage. That's just an event. Then you have a whole lifetime to really live together. So I personally, I don't even want something like that, because in the first place, there's none of us that got married that were not proposed to. In the first place, like us, you have to, before, the brother is coming to tell you, not let's just be friends. You know, they'll just go straight to the point. I want, you know, I see that some brothers, it's just because they are not bold enough. That's why they first come, friendship and all that. Then they will not take you to that bamboo.
Yeah.
Some people, they will come and tell you, you've known them. They'll just tell you straight. This is what I'm thinking. Are you thinking same? And if you want to do oligongo, like, let me go and pray about it. Okay, go and pray about it. You understand? But I really feel that let's do less of these shows. Let's reduce these shows. And, you know, some people will do a lot of shows and it's on credit.
Yeah.
They borrowed loan to do that. Is that wisdom? Like Mama will always say, sanctified common sense. Use your, you know, why not have something small? You know, somebody said, I'd rather have a quiet, I will not feed the whole Nigeria. Then I'll go and have honeymoon in the Bahamas or Maldives and stuff like that. Does that not make sense? Or you buy a car afterwards. So you do all these shows. See, even so-called engagements that some people do and need to be elaborate, it does not mean that it will end in marriage. It's courtship. It's not marriage. It may not work. You may discover something along the line. So make it low key, so that if it's not going to work, everybody will just go quietly. And this social media stuff has wounded a lot of people, because that's how they will go and do it. And before you know, they'll be counting it for you. Yeah. Like me, I know someone that it does not even make sense. He proposed, I was like, and she said yes. Are you ready for marriage? Because I know you. Are you ready for marriage now? He said, no, it's just like a promise ring. And that thing did not last for 2 months. It's just that, so, pastors, you hear a lot of things. You have to come again and say it's not working. Say, fine, but don't do this nonsense again.
Next time.
Must you go social media? And the ring doesn't mean anything.
Yes, we are talking about processes. Who is to be blamed? Now we are focusing on the premarital processes. Okay, things that happen before the actual marriage, where it then turns sour. All right. There are lots of things that people pay interest or pay attention to, and they forget the important one. Now, we have talked about letting your pastor know. We have talked about letting parents know. We have talked about seeing marriage committee. And then we have seen the trend where people take that proposal, go wild. The whole is on social media. That's when you're coming to me, pastor, and pastor, this is the one I want to marry. A pastor has seen it on net, so there's no need. Okay? So now, it begins to be something of great concern when people who have done these elaborate surprise stunts turn back to tell you, he was a devil. She was a devil. So where were you? Like, did he just meet you on the road and say, hey, will you marry me? And then you're searching for a husband and say, wow, yeah. Or you knew him before now. So it had to marry that proposal drama and the aftermath, maybe the courtship and the marriage eventually. What can we say is actually the problem? Where after all this, then now it's not working.
Okay, can I come in?
Yeah.
Well, I think most times we actually do things out of God's will for our lives. And we tend to love a person naturally without God consent in it. Yes, it's very, very important to know the mind of God for a relationship. Now, I believe when you both have convictions towards a thing, no matter the issues or challenges coming your way, you guys will fight it through. Yes, so when things are not working out, I believe maybe they didn't hear from God clearly that they are meant for each other. Like, yeah.
All right, I'll just say that I've said it before. Courtship is a rehearsal. It's not like you are very sure that it's going to work. In fact, even those ones that they saw is the will of God in marriage, they got married, accidents do happen.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, I'll just say that it's better to be cautious. It's better to be cautious. Don't be everywhere. Because this thing, you're still watching yourselves. And some people will now major in minor. They just want to do what everyone will see. They are not asking the right questions. They're not even praying together. Yeah. They're not doing things that they will be doing. That's why when they get married, it's now boring. Because reality sets in. So, all those shows, even me, when I was preparing for a wedding, I feel like, oh, it's my birthday, I enjoyed all those shopping, all those attention and all that. So it was from the reception ground, after everything. And you don't go back home. It's from there, they will say bye-bye. So I saw my mom's car just going, everybody going. That's why I started crying, as in the whole event, because we courted for quite long. So, that's what some people see. They are not looking at the right things they should be checking in that person. This person, is he kind?
Thank you.
Does this person hear God?
Character.
Yes. How does this person treat other people? Is it just you that is treating right? What about other people? When you go to restaurants, how does it treat all those almajiris and stuff like that? You understand? So these are the things you should be looking at and be talking. Do you know that I've asked some people this person's birthday and they don't know? As in, they don't know the year. They just know the date. Okay, what course is this person? What's this person's discipline? I didn't ask. Just like, so what do you people talk about in relationship? So these are the areas they don't care about. But they just want to get the best ring, surprise proposal that will go sour. So the aspect of it going sour now is that if you are just following and watching, like I was praying that God, your will, he told me, I would say, God, confirm it again. I want more confirmation. And I was open that God, even if it's on the altar, if it is not your will, don't let it work. You understand? So how much more courtship? So my take is that don't make your courtship, your proposal and your relationship, don't make it public, all these PDA, public display of affection. Don't make it so much because it might not work. Then you now have to go and start deleting so many things you have posted for another person that, don't learn the hard way. Just make it low. People that are even celebrities now, they don't bring their marriage or anything, their children, they don't bring them online.
Yeah. Whether you want to make your proposal loud, you want to make your marriage loud, whether you want to make it quiet, the most important thing. Know what you are entering. Know what you are doing in marriage. Marriage is not child's play. It is not, in our local parlance, no be moi moi. So when you want to go into marriage, you take time, like you say major on the minor. Under the bamboo tree that day, it has been my heart. Okay, when this guy, okay, God has said he's my husband. When is it? The day he now said, okay, will you be my wife? That day, time kind of stopped for me and my heart started racing and fears started. Am I sure I'm ready for marriage now? Am I sure I can cope? I have excesses. Can I cope with him? Do I know him that much? These were questions that were popping in my mind that moment. And honestly, the word that came to the tip of my tongue was a no. But I just remember that I know God told me this is the person. And I said yes. You understand? So if you know what you are entering into, you will not joke with it. The diamond ring will not be your concern. If you can afford it, fine. If you can afford all those luxury, fine. All those lauding things, fine. But the most important thing, know what you are entering, know who you are entering into that with. Character is what cannot be erased. People cannot change overnight. If he did not change, his mother trained him. Her mother trained her from when she was a baby till she was 30-something. She is still that mouthy. You see that aggressive. It is not after he marries you that he will become less aggressive. We are not to do the work. Nobody can do the work of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the Holy Spirit. You are you. Character is very important. Character is very, very, very important because that is what you get to see. It is the person's character you get to see after marriage. So when you are getting into marriage, before the marriage, think about what you are entering, who you are entering, and what you are there to achieve. Apart from the fact that marriage is instituted by God, I believe so strongly that marriage it's a weapon of warfare by God, because out of marriage comes the seed of righteousness. When both men and women are believers, in Genesis it said, "For your son, your seed will bruise the head of the serpent, and the serpent will bruise his heels." For me, marriage is warfare. So when you are getting into it, know what you are entering. Thank you very much for being a part of this talk show. Who is to blame when things go sour? The pastors are not to be blamed. The parents are not to be blamed. The two intending couples are to look into what they want and decide with the help of God, decide after hearing from God, knowing what God has said, and continue in what God has said. Thank you very much. Join us same time next month for another edition. We invite you to join us next week for our physical meeting of the Vessels of Gold. It will be holding at Godia Multipurpose Hall by 5 p.m. Thank you very much. God bless you and stay blessed.